I think I have everything. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm doing the Q&A today, and I'm going to do my questions first, and then Luke will answer his questions that you guys sent. Because as of this very moment, he has not answered them yet. So I'm going to go ahead and get through my part first. And these questions were sent a while ago. I just haven't sat down. I've been trying to keep the pregnancy updates pretty like real time, and when this video goes up, I think I'll be one day from 30 weeks, and so that video 28 and 29 weeks should be up pretty soon after this one. But I'm going through all these questions that I've had screenshot. I had to like scroll so far back to get to them. So I'm just going to run through these questions and do my part first. And there's quite a few questions, and so I'm gonna blow through some that are super simple so this video is not a million years long. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, first question is, how's the co-parenting going? So Luke and I both have to co-parent. He has a child from a previous marriage. I have 3 from a previous marriage. So my ex-husband and I, we co-parent. My ex-husband, to give you guys a situation, my ex-husband is remarried. They have 7 kids total. So he has 5 of his own, and then she has 2 of her own, but 1 of theirs is together. Kind of a melting pot situation. There's like a lot going on. So my situation with him is he has our kids every other weekend plus a Monday, Tuesday. So he gets them 8 days a month, I think 8 days a month. I'll have to count. But it works really well because of his schedule being a week on, a week off. He's able to keep them for like a little bit longer stretch. So I have them, I think 10 or 12 days in a row. I don't know. I have them for like a long time in a row. Then he has his like 4 days. And then I have my long period, and so on and so forth. I will say that we only communicate about the kids, and only when we have to communicate about the kids. We've been kind of at odds with each other. Whenever there's behavior issues, I will sometimes go to him and kind of ask him for like reinforcement. And it used to be that he would not offer any of that, and now it's to the point where if I call him during an episode of bad behavior where it's kind of gone over my head and I want the reinforcement, he will step in and assist me on that. And so that's the biggest changes I feel like recently that I'm honestly thankful for, is to have that reinforcement. Because while Luke is a great role model, I really don't want to have to put that onto him as well. And I want to make sure that their dad has that active role in decisions like discipline and behavior and things like that. And so recently I just had this issue, and I called him, and he was actually able to speak with one of our children and actually help me out. So I will say that our situation has gotten better. Is there always room for improvement? Yes. He is remarried. His wife will not meet me, and that is completely her decision. I've tried and tried and tried. My ex-husband has not met Luke, and we've tried and tried, and that's still their decision. But the main thing that I think, as long as we can keep respect amongst the households, that's what I strive for. It's not going to be a perfect situation because of the history. It's just like impossible. But on the other end, Luke also co-parents, and it is like best case scenario. So my kids do get to see that healthy co-parenting. They see ours as healthy, I think, because they don't see arguments or like name calling. But they also get to see that Luke and his ex-wife co-parent amazingly well. So she is remarried. They have another child. So kind of same situation, just less kids going back and forth. And they have a great relationship. Her and I have a great relationship. Her husband and Luke have a good relationship. So it is like best case scenario. And I'm very thankful for my situation, how even though it's not perfect, it's way better than it was, and how his is so great. And I feel comfortable. We all sit together at ball games, all the things. So the situation with co-parenting right now is the best it's been in like a long time, especially on my end. And so all I can say is that I'm thankful for where it's at and for the potential of where it could go. Next question is, are we still going on a baby moon? We had plans to go to Mackinac Island in Michigan when I was about 33, 34 weeks pregnant. However, this was being planned right before we found out the baby had gastroschisis. I am not able to travel at all anymore. At 28 weeks, they cut off my ability to travel. And so we're not going on a baby moon, which is perfectly fine with me. I've never actually gone on like a baby moon. I want to say even when I had the twins that we didn't really do anything like substantial. I was actually supposed to go to Vegas for work for a week, and I'm not going to that either because I'm not able to travel. The perinatal specialist said no, and so we're not going anywhere, and that's okay because I would rather be home if anything happened versus somewhere far away, because if I deliver anywhere besides here, we are literally stuck there until she comes home, which could be months. A lot of questions on if I've met Luke's ex and if we all get along. We get along fantastic. I have a super great relationship with her, and they're very nice people. Never had any issues with her, like with her and I directly. We communicate just back and forth amongst each other if like Luke's not around, and it works out. And I'm thankful because I know from my situation that it could be way worse, and so I'm very thankful for his ex-wife and her ability to communicate and our ability to be respectful towards each other. Someone asked favorite fast food restaurant / meal. I don't know if Starbucks would count as like a fast food restaurant, but I do like their teas and things like that. As far as like fast like eating, if I'm going to a drive-thru, I love Culver's. We did not have Culver's back home, so for this geographical location, I love Culver's. It's like chicken tenders and burgers and cheese balls and fries, like just very fast foody type stuff. So that's my favorite here. The next question is about that little harassment situation that happened last year. Yeah. Oh gosh. Like, I didn't forget this happened, but honestly it's kind of been the furthest thing from my mind. I don't remember reading this question when I first got all these questions sent in. So last year I went through a situation where someone I had dated for a short period before I met Luke, he has an ex-wife who started harassing me, and it was, I still am in shock that it happened. Like, I'm still like in shock that people act this way, especially at the ages that we are now. Yes, I've heard nothing since the last video. Like, nothing at all. And I think that's very important because if it had continued, I had grounds to file for harassment. The 2 police officers who I spoke with told me I had grounds to right then and right there. And so the only thing that I know about this now is that her and the guy are no longer together. Surprise, surprise. And recently someone did send me something that she had posted. I don't even know where it was, somewhere like on a page or something on social media about having integrity as a woman. And my mind was just blown because she has like the least integrity of any adult I've ever met in my entire life. But guys, like, I stood up for myself, I advocated for myself, and there was literally no truth to her claims. And as much as I hated that I had to come on social media to do that, she only gave me one option, and that was to blatantly address her on social media. If she still watches or not, I honestly don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if she did. But the fact that things have calmed down now, I feel the most glad for the guy I dated and the kids involved, because she did purposely involve children, and that's heartbreaking to me. It's unfathomable. Like, I cannot imagine me personally bringing my oldest daughter into an adult thing that I, for one, created and fabricated. So moving on from that, no, I've heard nothing, and it's because there was literally nothing else that she could have done. Everything that she was doing did give me grounds for harassment. I chose not to pursue it and give her the chance to back off. And after I proved that she was lying, she literally disappeared. So, yeah. What is what is my housekeeping schedule, cleaning, groceries, etc.? I do most all of the grocery shopping. Luke will go and get like odds and ends, like if I forget something, or if we decide to change something last minute, he'll run out and grab it. I plan out the meals. I usually have a menu every week, so I kind of am organized on what to make. Because I do work some night shifts, I don't leave the house without having dinner for them, so that Luke doesn't have to worry about chasing kids and doing dinners. So it just works out better for us. We both clean. I feel like he cleans way more than I do, and I feel like he would say that he does clean more than I do. He's just very, very tidy. Next question. Birth control plans after Story is born. Tubes tied / vasectomy. We are actually doing both. And it's funny because before we got pregnant with her, we were having a conversation with his mom in the kitchen, and she had asked like if we were planning on having kids together, and we were like, no, we're not planning on that. And I told her that I was actually planning on getting my tubes tied once my insurance kicked in with my new job, because I knew the insurance was going to be absolutely amazing, and it is. And she said, you should let Luke get the vasectomy because you've had 3 kids, like your body has been through enough, which I thought was, I'd loved her ever since that comment. And obviously we are now expecting, but we have both decided that I will have it done after this birth, and then he will also have a vasectomy after she is born. So we're going to kind of both go in and do it, and hopefully that just takes care of any more discussions about future kids. This is kind of a rough question. I don't want to hurt any feelings here. She asked, how did you know Tyler wasn't the one? Tyler and I had a relationship, and it was on YouTube a little bit. He was very not shy about coming on camera and things like that. And so a lot of you saw our relationship kind of blossom on YouTube. And there's definitely no hard feelings there from my end. I don't think he's a bad person. We don't communicate anymore. We were friends for a while, even after I moved here. But as Luke and I got more serious, we decided not to continue being friends. And he's now in a serious relationship as well. Knowing he wasn't the one, I feel guilty in saying this, but he was never my soulmate. And I mean that in like the romantic way. We had such a friendship that's kind of what I've always been drawn to, is that friendship. I've meet a male and we have like a really good bond of friendship, and so I've always taken the like marry your best friend scenario very literally. And so when I have a really good friendship with a guy, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of potential here. And while we obviously had a romantic relationship as well, we just were way better suited as friends, because I know that I had traits that for him would have been a deal breaker. And he had a trait that for me was an absolute deal breaker. And it's something that I think we both tried to look past in each other, because we did get along so well and we had so much fun together. But again, we were kind of soulmate friends, not soulmate like romantically. Okay, I had to move the camera or turn the camera off because it like stops recording after so long. Also, if you guys can see my extension sticking out, just mind your business. I'm like 2 weeks late on my hair appointment to move them up, because I wanted to wait before our maternity photos, which are next weekend, so this weekend coming up. So I wanted to have like the most fresh hair before maternity photos, because the photos that day are going to be very special, and I just wanted to have good hair. Good hair for it. So ignore that. But the next question is, are we buying a house? Are we planning on getting a bigger house? Things like that. The answer is yes. However, we want to get her born, first of all, have her go to the NICU, all those things, get her home. By the time she gets home, we're looking at fall. And then we don't plan on buying a house at the end of fall, because I just feel like I don't want to move before all the holidays. I don't want to move when it's cold outside, things like that. So we are going to buy a house probably around spring break time, whenever the winter is kind of behind us, when the holidays are behind us. A lot of things happen at the end of the year for us, and so we're not trying to have a baby in NICU, try to buy a house, all the things. We're trying to just like make this a very fluid thing. And because the baby will be in the room with us, can you guys hear that? I think someone's mowing their lawn. Someone asked if we did IVF for this baby. No, we did not. Someone also asked, do I miss being a hospice nurse? Yes, I was PRN for a while, and then I would do like 1 day a week here and there, and then their census dropped and they didn't call for like 2 months. And I loved hospice, everything about it. I loved talking with families, and I loved being there. It's a privilege to be included in a process such as terminal illness and death, and to be able to hold their hand and kind of walk them through that. It was very fulfilling, 100% fulfilling. However, I'm not doing it anymore because their census dropped. They haven't had the need for PRN, and so because I haven't been there in like 2.5 months, I think. It's been like a while. It might even be longer than that. My full-time job, you guys know, is my dream job. It's very fulfilling. Working in the forensics field is everything that I ever thought it would be. So it doesn't make me sad about hospice, but anyone who's thinking about going into hospice nursing, I 100% recommend. The pay is the best pay I've ever had as a nurse. Hospice, especially home hospice nursing, we're talking like several thousands of dollars a year. I made the most ever doing hospice nursing, and your schedule is so flexible. I would go in and start seeing patients around 9. I'd be done by like 3 o'clock. It is just the best schedule, especially for working moms, I feel like. Highly recommend it. It is like the best job ever besides the one that I am currently doing. Okay, this question I actually Googled the other day because I don't know the answer to this question. It says, will my breast augmentation be impacted by pregnancy? Will I be able to breastfeed? So I was told whenever I had them done, I had a lift and implants about 2 years ago, and because I thought I was done having children, I went ahead and did that. I was told then if I had more kids, most likely it wouldn't be effective because of them being like under the muscle and like all the things. I'm not really sure. The appearance hasn't changed really. They are a little bit bigger now just because of the pregnancy and the weight gain and like the breast swelling. However, I'm not really concerned about how they look. The looks are the least of my concern. I was more worried about, can I breastfeed her? Because, you know, she's going to be in the NICU at least a month. Could be 2-3 months. We have no idea how long she's going to be in there. And I want to be able to bring breast milk back and forth to her whenever she does start her feeding. She'll be on a feeding tube for a little while, but once she starts like eating on her own, I'm like looking into, you know, getting different kind of pumps, you know, cordless ones for when I'm working, and then ones for at home, you know, things like that. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I got to think about my breast implants. So I started looking into them, and unfortunately, and I'm so mad at myself. If I knew I would have another kid someday, I would not have gotten breast implants or the surgery done at all. The kind of incisions that I have are like the worst case scenario. Makes me so sad. That because depending on how they did it, I guess is the way I read it, they could have severed quite a bit of nerves or something like that around the areola. So the only way to really know is when your milk comes in and you start pumping. I'm obviously going to notice if the supply is like half of what it should be. However, I'm willing to do what I can. I will still be pumping, still be doing my absolute best, taking all the things for milk supply. I just want to give her what my other kids were able to have. And I just feel like I have plenty of time to pump at work and, you know, at home when I'm home during the day, because I, you know, work some nights and, you know, some days, and I know that I can make the best out of whatever the situation is. Hopefully it's been long enough where it's not going to impact it too bad, but I don't know. And I will update you guys after I have her and the milk comes in and let you know where we're at with that. Questions on what Luke does for work. He works in logistics. I don't really know a lot about that, but that's what he works in. Someone said, how long will I take for maternity leave? A lot of maternity leave questions in here. Here's the deal. Because we know she's going to have a prolonged NICU stay, and because I'm home during the week most days, and I work at night, and we go to the hospital frequently for work, I am only going to take for maternity leave a week or two after she's born. And that's only because I need to heal, and I can't be on scenes doing the most if my body is not healing. So if I most likely will take 2 weeks at the front end. Now, if I have to have a C-section, I don't honestly know. I don't know what the recovery's like. I've heard it's hard, and we don't have light duty at work. So I can't just hang out in the office. I have to go to scenes. I have to work cases, things like that. So I have to make sure that health-wise I'm in it and I'm able to help. I'm not leaving my partner with a half-assed partner. Like, I'm just not. We have each other's backs. We both need to be full capacity when we go in together. And even for safety reasons, we need to be like at full capacity. And I don't want to be there and not be able to do anything. So most likely 2 weeks at the start, and then whenever she comes home from NICU, I'll take 4 to 6 weeks on the back end. And guys, there's no point in me sitting at home all week, every week, wasting my maternity leave with her not here. I can go sit during the week, during the day at the NICU with her. I can go at night when Luke gets home. He can go on his lunch break. Like, there will always be someone there checking on her. Everyone in my office we go to the hospital all the time for cases. They can run up there, peek in there, check on her. She's gonna have people in and out, and so she will have honestly more people in there than my son did when he was in the NICU for 2 weeks. Because if you guys remember back in the day, my boy twin was in the NICU, and I feel like we were hardly ever there because we had another newborn at home. So we will make it work, and we will always have someone there, and we're not just gonna like up and leave her just casually there. I'll spend a lot of my hours during the day there at the NICU. I can sleep on the couch in the NICU room with her. So I know I kind of sound defensive of my maternity situation, but guys, it would be hard for me to sit at home every single day just waiting around, just on leave, when I would have been home during the week anyways. So that's my rant. Let's just do one more. Okay, this is a good one. This one's kind of hard. This one says, how do you feel about everything that you have encountered since moving back? You are so strong. A lot has happened since I moved back here. Way more. Not even just like the move itself and sharing my kids more often. You know, there's been so much, you know, moving back here, you know, literally doing it on my own with no family close by, literally having to let my kids go for several weeks to their dads, like right after I got here, just maneuvering everyday life, meeting Luke, starting a relationship, my view on everything as far as my future changing, us having a baby, all the things. It's in my dream job. Like, everything that's happened here has just, it's been like this weird like sequence of events that has just fallen into place. And so if I ever doubted my decision to come back, I literally don't doubt it now. I came back for my children to have a relationship with their dad, and it was very hard to make that decision. It was very hard to leave, but now like I wouldn't go back for anything. Like, they're doing good here. They really seem to like it here. I like it here. I love, you know, just like the culture here is a little bit different too, and I really, really enjoy that. So like, there's so many things here that like I looked past, and when I was only focusing on the kids, but like there's so many other good things about being here besides just me sacrificing everything. Like, there's so many other things that are just going great here, and this is our life now. Like, this is our life, this is our future, and I have like no complaints except for the winter. But yeah, I mean, that's gonna be all for my part. In a second, we're gonna do Luke's part, and let's just be thankful that he answered questions at all, because he was literally not going to. So See you guys in a minute. Okay, so I've got to scroll up to answer Luke's questions, with virtual Luke answering the questions. Basically what I did for him, because he does not want to be on camera, maybe one day, who knows, but I sent him the questions and then he responded via text message. So I'm gonna read his responses to his questions just so we can end this video. Guys, one day I hope that maybe he will be comfortable to come on here. If not, it's okay. I'm not crying over not having a social media, partner. So anyways, the first question was, what's your favorite part of your relationship? And he said, the best part is that we always have fun together if we're going out golfing or laying around the house doing nothing. And I agree, that is the best part of our relationship. And the second question was, favorite thing about Anna. And guys, this one really got me. I was like, really? He said, I like your work ethic and how driven you are and will always go for what you want to benefit your family. And that makes me feel really good, because my family obviously is super, super important to me. And I always want to go above and beyond. No matter what my family needs, I want to be there to step up and say, this is what's best. And that one, I was like, I teared up a little bit when I read that response. The next question that was asked was, how has the transition been going from just your son and you to Anna and her kiddos? I was like, I bet he's like, yeah, it's crazy. He said it actually was pretty difficult, a lot less free time and a lot more responsibility. Also had to chill on my clean house OCD too. And then he said a word that how you feel is best. Guys, there's a lot more crumbs on the floor, having more mouths over there eating. And guys, I know he lived like a leisurely life. Like, I'm under no false pretense that he lived like a leisurely life, because him and his son are 50-50. So he's with his mom half the time and him half the time. So half the time he was living like a bachelor until me. So bless him. He still gets his like alone time. It's just a little bit further in between than he's used to. Someone asked, before Anna, where did you envision your life in 5 years? He said that he had no idea how to answer that. And it's funny because whenever we were dating, I asked him a very similar question. Like date 1 or 2, I asked him, like, what's your 5-year plan? Like, do you have like somewhere that you want to be in 5 years? And he was honest back then and said that he really wasn't sure. He was just kind of taking life as it came right then and was just welcoming whatever happened. Little did he know that I was about to happen. And the last question that was asked, how do you feel about being a girl dad? You seem amazing with Aniston. And guys, he is amazing with her. He said he feels great about it, but still feels like he has a lot of learning left to do. So those are his questions. Sorry they're virtually answered via text message, but he did participate, so I give him credit. That's going to be all for this video, you guys, and I will see you guys in a few days for the pregnancy update. Bye.